I hope that this post touches someone because this is a hard post for me. Usually people get nervous getting up in front of individuals and speaking, but I have no one around and I feel like I'm more nervous than I've ever been. This has to do with my experience and what has transpired over the past 5 years. That's Steve and that's Robert. Robert passed away some decades ago. And that's Steve's brother. Okay? And I'm a firm believer in how death over time can be looked at as a positive thing. And how even within death something can transfer. And it can. Just please allow me. Just listen to what I have to say. If it sounds crazy, good, but this is real talk. Okay, I was a senior in high school. And I grew up next to Robert and Miss Hannah, and Mr. Hannah, and I had a little turtle. I used to have a little turtle that I'd sit on over there. And I'd talk to Miss Hannah, Mr. Hannah, and I would see Robert, and I was young. And that was before all this technology. I wish I could go back. But Miss Hannah came over here the right way like immigrants do. But anyways, I grew up. We had a connection. Steve was living out west, doing his thing, following his journey. He went out west to learn some things to bring it back. Well, Robert had passed, and I was a senior in high school. And I was getting into all kinds of fucking trouble because I was a spoiled little kid. My dad wanted me to have what he didn't have, and things played out the way they did. But we all have our journey. But I was getting into trouble. I'd quit sports. And Robert had passed. And Steve came back home. And I'm a firm believer in this. We don't just die, burn and that's it, or something else. There's a process that our soul and our faculties, our dense body, everything combined takes time in the process of death. And when a natural life that has a timeline is altered, something happens that cannot be explained. Okay? You're not going to find this in any books. You have to cut everything in order to see and try to feel this. I feel like a lot of Robert, what was inside of Robert when this thing happened, in the process of my darkness, of living in lower nature, in the process of Robert's death, something happened. Something new that I was fixing to go through hell for 20 more years. But something happened. And in the process of this happening, Steve came back home after the funeral home and stuff. My dad hired Steve to train me in fitness. You know, it's all about staying busy. Stay busy. And I didn't even know what staying busy was as a spoiled individual. But Steve just, it wasn't just hiring him to train me. It was like something manifested in the process of Robert's death. And in the process of Robert's death, I gained something from Robert that has laid dormant. And that has been fucking mad. Mad. On events that have transpired. We can't control what goes on the other side. Can you say what goes on? I can. But you can't see it when you're glued into this world. But see, all that right there, Steve's not just a trainer. It was like a brotherly thing happened. Not just that, but with Chuck and over the years, it was the experience of, you know, learning strict discipline and structure, you know, and I feel like it was, see, without Robert's passing, none of what I have gone through would have built me to this. And as me and Steve's relationship grew, just like any brother, he's going to allow me to do certain things. And, you know, when I was dealing hardcore, you know, I forcibly did things on people because it was just too much. You know, I would keep things that would have life sentences at people's houses, you know, and but he was always there, you know, to because I feel like a lot of me, he saw Robert. And I mean, the shirt says that I'm excellent at everything I do, and that's a fact. And it shows you. And can't none of y'all take this from me. But the discipline that I learned from that early experience, and then getting with Larry with the Muay Thai, you know, and learning about pain and going through some shit. You know, learning how to earn things. You got to earn things in the gym. That was that I actually earned something before earning this recovery. You know, without juice and all that. And Steve taught me that. You know, with Robert within me, that power. I can't fucking explain the energy that I have. At times I don't want it. But it's like, you know what, warriors break down sometimes, and this is my day to break down. This is our day. It's me and Steve and Ray, Garrett, all of us, all of us. Bo. Without that experience of fitness, I would be just like everybody else. Obese, and I'm not putting you down. It's just your experience. when you have somebody challenging you every day in the gym to strive for more and to do it the right way and to drill that within your subconscious. And then on top of that, when you have a black man like Mike down the road to walk you through that and to show you your experience and how it builds you and how everything is a plan. You know, how my mom never gave up on me. You know, I'm fortunate that's been there. You know, and they always gave me hell for that, but by God, I didn't. And that's cool. You know, and my family's been there, but y'all don't understand what it's like to sit down and go through hell to get better. You know, and if it wasn't for all that combined, you know, and I bash my family because I love them. This is why if I give you a hard time, a lot of us will tell you, you cannot handle going through what we've went through with the detoxes and the witnessing of the just fucking carnage of people just giving up, you know, of the death, of the fucking just nastiness. You will not make it through it. Suicide is the number one reason now. And when we don't learn how to fucking work around, when we don't get our way, then we collapse. You know, but I was taught early. And that shit's been driven in me. And then when I got busted with all that weed, you know, I went to boot camp and hell. And then I got more. They showed me how to, you know, put it all together. Then Mike, you know, and there's more players to the game. But this is just a short little video. You know, because that experience produced that. And that's some badass photography, Jody. Produced that, which it's coming. You know, and it's always gym time. And you know, and we got some badass articles. You know, when I say we. You know, and that's the thing is that right there is like this. That's a product of all of my experiences in life combined. You know, that all actually started with my brother, you know, through Robert's passing. And I feel like there's, you know, you can't take that from me. And I ask why every day. And you know, and the more I look at things and the more I look, and it's like, you know, death is something that we're supposed to get ready for, you know. We're supposed to be getting ready for death. This is a learning experience getting us prepped for the other side. You know, and I can't explain none of this. All I can tell you is how I feel and how all this has transpired through a man's passing. You know, and I hope that can help somebody, because that's what it's all about. You know, we've got to turn it all around, and I love you, Steve. You know, my shoulder's banged up, but it's from trying to quit drinking one time on Xanax, and I fucking broke the head of my humerus. And, you know, for 5 years, they told me I'd never be able to lift again, and I said, fuck all of y'all. I've been fighting this shit for years, and I think I'm gonna finally have to go get it worked on. But you know, whatever they do to it, you know, we'll have one last shot at the title, like fucking Rocky. You know, it'd be cool to come out of shoulder surgery and be like, but see, the way this design is we can't even as sheep down here. It's designed we can't even really see each other that much because we got to work to pay these fucking bills that they've created. You know, to show the world not only what happened for the past 20 fucking 5 years, but what can happen after a shoulder surgery. You know, this, and this, film that shit, and we'll get the motherfucker going. You know, that's stories, man. That's fucking real life. That ain't no Hallmark fucking bullshit. That is real. That's raw. And they don't want that shit out there. But anyways, I've got to give props to everybody, you know. And I'm not putting anybody at top at number one. It's everybody. It's Robert mainly, and it's my family, and it's Steve, and it's Mike, and it's Larry, and it's Mike Webb around me, and it's Dunny, and it's... You know, I can name more names, and if you get mad, you get mad. That's just on you. You know, Brian, he's a fighter too. You know, but we gotta learn how to turn this shit around, man. They ain't gone. They ain't one of us. Y'all just don't know it. And I love you. It's right now. It's gym time. Hell yeah.